Views expressed in the videos are my observation, analysis of events, persons based on principles of astrology. It's not my intent to predict, forecast absolute outcomes, only suggest how they may unfold. Nothing is set in stone. I could be wrong, but often I'm right. My desire is not to promote fear, only inform about what we see unfolding. It is our wish to prepare our subscribers for events that could affect them, their family, their goals, and their future, to help to prepare for what you may already suspect is happening, and to send a warning shot across the bow and raise a flag of concern. Our goal is to help, not hinder, in these perilous times, to inspire and offer possible direction, and to reveal that a greater plan and purpose are behind all that is happening. Eventually, we will see a brighter day. If you would like to show your appreciation for our work on these videos or this channel, and also the Knowing Whispers channel, you can always click on the word thanks at the bottom of all the videos. Everybody, it's Robert Cosmar of the Astrology of Life YouTube channel, also the Astrology of Karma and Evolution YouTube channel. Today, the title of my video is going to be Trump and Musk, Our Fear of the Unknown. What I hope to do in this video is to show you astrologically why it is that we are experiencing and confronting the vulnerability and the fear that these times have brought us. And I think if you stay with me throughout this video, that it will explain a lot about how you're feeling and about what the purpose is in all of this that we are going through. Okay, so bear with me and let's go for a ride. There are no astrological charts in this video. There are just simply 7 separate images like this that show the opposition of Neptune to transiting Saturn. For those of you that are my age, let's say 72 to 76 or 7, you're experiencing transiting Neptune opposing your natal Saturn. And this is a very significant transit for this particular reason here. Okay? Saturn represents what is known, recognized, believed to be form. Form are the structures physically and, in a sense, metaphysically and psychologically and scientifically that have been created to form our understanding of life as we experience it in the physical. Okay? In other words, the world that we have grown up in. Okay? But we know that that world is changing. And for a person who doesn't understand astrology, they have no map to basically look at to show them that there is an intelligence behind this change, or to explain why they feel discombobulated, vulnerable, afraid. Okay? So in a very real sense here, I'm going to be showing you why it is that there is so much fear, and why it is that we are feeling extremely vulnerable. Okay? And that this just didn't happen, okay, to us right now. This is something that's been in the works for a very long time, as a part of the evolution of humanity, as a part of the evolution of life, okay, our personal lives, our lives in general, okay, and it all began around, let's say, the 1930s. Transiting Neptune opposed transiting Saturn in the 1930s, specifically 1936 and 37. This was right before World War II. Okay? Now, again, Saturn represents form. It is the beliefs that we were raised under, the beliefs of our parents, the belief of people in the United States as it developed from 250 years ago. Okay? Our ideas about the purpose of life. Okay? Neptune, okay, is the planet of everything that is against that. All right? What it does is that it breaks down our beliefs about what we have been taught and what we think are reality. When that happens, you feel tremendously vulnerable and even afraid because your identity has been assaulted by something that you couldn't anticipate. Okay, you had no idea it was going to happen, but you sense that a part of your life has just ended. Okay, so this began, all right, this opposition began in the 1930s. Okay, this was pre-World War II. So it was a harbinger in a sense of what was to occur, okay, at that particular time. And it wasn't just then. Okay, I'm going to go to another chart here. Raise it up a little bit. Okay. Transiting Neptune opposed transiting Saturn in the 1950s. Okay. Now, Saturn also opposes Neptune, much more than Neptune opposes Saturn. Whenever these two combinations of these planets, okay, come into play, it brings you into a period of your life where you feel vulnerable, you feel discombobulated, you feel like that the world as you understood it, the life that you have created, has just gotten flushed down the toilet. And whenever that happens, okay, vulnerability and fear creep in. And the reason for this happening is that the universe, okay, wants us to move beyond Saturn. Because when you're talking about Saturn and the forming of beliefs and ideas, you also have to include fear as a component in that. With Neptune, it's almost like, whether we like it or not, we are being shown and told that things have to change, that we have to change. If we don't change, then bad things could happen. Okay, so again, during the 1950s, the 1940s, and the 1930s, there was this transiting movement of Neptune and Saturn in dancing with one another because they're so slow moving is the reason for this. Okay, let's go forward again here. All right, the 1960s, all right, transiting Neptune opposed transiting Saturn in the 1960s, okay? And you can see how beginning in the 1930s, there have been cataclysmic events and there has been such a pressure of forced changes, all right? Because the universe, all right, is trying to cause us to consciously wake up and move beyond the limitations of our beliefs and our ideas, to have a conscious rebirth, to go beyond just identifying with beliefs and ideas into a conscious understanding beyond just those beliefs and ideas. Okay? All right, another chart here, another image. 1970s, transiting Neptune opposed, transiting Saturn then. Okay? We know all about the Vietnam War. We know all about the situation with Richard Nixon and the presidency. All right? So all of these things have been building over a long period of time. And again, for those of you that are my age, maybe you're between 71 or 2 and 76 or 77, you've got Neptune opposing your natal Saturn. Depending upon what house that's in, that area of your life, you are going through a period of questioning your beliefs. Maybe your religious beliefs are changing. Maybe your beliefs about your marriage and your relationship are changing. Maybe your career, if you're still working, is changing. Maybe your relationship with your kids is changing. Okay? And you want to know how come. Okay? Because from the time that we're born, we are fed a, quote, belief structure that says, do this and you'll get this. But what happens if you do this and you don't get that? Okay? For a lot of people, it throws them into a tailspin. If they don't understand astrology, if they don't understand that life is an evolution, it's not a stagnant thing to where you become a concrete block and you never change, it throws you into a deep loop. It can throw you into a deep depression. Okay? All of it intended to cause you to go within and to seek the cause of that. Okay? That is the reason. all pain is attempting to help you to wake up, to let go of false ideas and false beliefs that you're holding on to because you have been conditioned that way, that are punishing you, and you're contributing to the punishment because your mind doesn't want to see any further than what you believe. Okay? All right, let's go a little bit further here. 1980s, transiting Neptune opposed transiting Saturn in the 80s. Okay? We've had several events globally during this time that has continued to shake things up, and will continue to do so. Okay. I think we have maybe two more of these. 1990s, transiting Neptune opposing transiting Saturn. Okay, we had the war in Iraq. We've had other incidents globally and otherwise. We've got this situation in Russia, okay, as well as in America. Okay. Neptune is like Uranus and Pluto in the sense that they are on a timeline for our evolution. Okay, they're on a timeline to cause us to hopefully see that those things that we have held on to, believed, okay, those structures that we've become dependent upon are not meant to last forever, that they're meant to evolve, they're meant to change, okay, and that hopefully as that occurs, we are strong enough to confront ourselves and to rise above the fear that is released as a result of these things. I think this here's the last one here. Okay. Transiting Neptune opposing transiting Saturn in the 2000. Okay. Beginning in late 2005 and continuing to the end of 2007. Okay. And it probably also goes beyond that somewhat. Okay. At least the transiting to transiting. Now, again, going back to what I said earlier, if you were born when you're, let's say, 71 to 76, 77 years old, you got transiting Neptune opposing your natal Saturn. So this is a key for those of you that feel totally discombobulated. All right? You were certain, you thought that you knew what you wanted, who you were, where you were going, and then all of a sudden something happened and you're totally knocked on your can. Okay? You feel vulnerable. You feel afraid, all right? And you wonder what to do, okay? And in those episodes, like I said, two things happen. You begin to use your mind again to try to logically figure out how to deal with it and what you should do, this and that and this and that. You'll find out that most of the time it doesn't work. Or you have to begin a thorough, in-depth look inside of yourself. Who you've become, what you've become. And did it make you happy? Did it answer all your questions? Was it totally, absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the truth? Or was it just another idea and another belief that you have been fed, that you have absorbed, and that you believe that that's what life is all about? Okay? Humanity is being thrust into a situation of deep transformative change. And as is the case with Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, it seems like it's being forced on us against our will. The problem is that our ego, which was created by those beliefs throughout our lifetime, is threatened by this. Because this new life that it is promising is a revelation. It's something that you just know. You don't read it in a book. You didn't find it somewhere on a piece of paper that blew across your feet in a Walmart parking lot. You just know there's something happening, okay? And in doing so, the universe is trying to build trust, okay? Trusting yourself, trusting the universe, coming to a greater, grander, and a more expansive understanding of reality, okay? All of these things are possible, all right? And here's the kicker. Without Donald Trump and without Elon Musk, for a lot of people, that's not going to be possible. Because what they're doing is that they're causing us to have a fear of the unknown. Okay? They are tools of the universe. Yes, they do work with dark energy. And dark energy is the other half of the universe, which is a whole, but it's whole light energy, whole dark energy. Okay? And while it's very possible that they could create or cause horrific events to happen, they're also causing us to be blindsided by this irrational fear that haunts us almost daily, unless we have begun the process within inside of ourselves of transforming our fixation upon the outer world and into our inner selves. Okay? Into meditatively releasing our dependency upon our mental and emotional bodies to the point where we reawaken this conscious energy that is trying to pry our fingers off this fear. Okay? So, this is the situation that we're experiencing. Okay? And hopefully this is giving you kind of a framework from an astrologer's standpoint of why it is that you feel this anxiety and vulnerability. Okay? You can try to psychologically, you can try to mentally trick yourself into some way, shape, or form, avoiding the fear that you feel, but it is far deeper than that. Okay? It is a fear of yourself. It is a fear of the universe. In some ways, for some people, it's a fear of God, as you have been taught. Okay? And a lot of you probably are afraid to let go of that belief. Okay? And to begin an inward search for what is called the truth. The true truth. Not the biblical truth, not the religious truth, okay? Not the psychological truth, although that does have a part in it, but the pure conscious truth about who you are, how the universe operates, and what is going on. That is really the only way you're going to be able to cope with the possibility of all the things that could be triggered over the next several years. Okay? So, the main point is that it is helping you, whether you realize it or not. Okay? The problem is that you're holding on mentally and emotionally to the idea of the worst that could happen. You're not able to consciously consider the fact that this could all be very good and very healing for you and for humanity as a whole. Okay? Because you're distracted by all of the other people on the planet that are afraid and feeling vulnerable because of these ideas of potential wars or potential, mishandling of the country. Okay? It's going to be a big challenge. I mentioned this months ago. But the biggest challenge for all of us during the times that are going to be coming is the fact that it's going to be so easy to become addicted to what if. Okay? The great thing about the astrology is that it essentially gives you an idea and a clue as to what if could be. All right? But as you know by now, even for us astrologers who've been doing this for a long time, we can get it wrong. Okay? And there's nothing bad about that. Okay? It should humble us and make us realize that even though what we do is a fantastic tool to help us understand life better, we're not in a situation where we're going to understand and know the ultimate truth of everything all the time. We are luckier in some ways because of the fact that we're able to evaluate, analyze, and study trends. But even in those situations, we can miss the mark. Okay? But there are things, when you go back and you take a look at them, you can see patterns that develop. And that's really what you try to look at as an astrologer. What are the patterns? All right. Hidden in your horoscope are not only the patterns of events that will happen and have happened in your life, but also the karma and the reasons for why those things are happening. Okay? And that can help you to heal if you are willing and strong enough and brave enough to want to look within inside of yourself. Okay? Willing to look into your fears, the level of those fears. All right? And to allow your guidance and your higher self to work with you in those fears so that you can understand them and release them. I know that a lot of folks are afraid of astrologers, afraid to have somebody that knows them in a way maybe better than they do, or that knows things about them, and it's kind of, when you're afraid, it can get really blown out of proportion to a person being really scared, nervous, whatever, to go to the astrologer. You don't have to be afraid. Okay? An astrologer, if they're honest and if they're moral and ethical, is not going to scare you. Okay? I do not believe that there is an astrologer on the planet that can predict your death. There's a lot of people that try. There are different techniques in astrology that imply such a thing. But I feel that it's morally and ethically irresponsible to even try. Okay? And there can be other things too that are ethically and morally irresponsible too. But the purpose is to try to help people to understand themselves and to give them the tools to heal themselves by introducing themselves to a part of themselves that for a good part of their earthly life, it has been blocked and it has been stuffed in the background. Okay? My work is to try to help you to find the courage and the strength to confront yourself and to find out that that self is a very wonderful and powerful being that can answer your questions, heal your fears, and give you some hope for the future, that during all this stuff that's been going on, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to, quote, hold on to that. And the reason is because mentally and emotionally, people are in a loop of what if, what if, what if, what if. Okay? It's not healthy. Okay? There is nothing more harmful for a person than to go through life judging themselves, judging others, judging life. It is the cruelest way of punishing yourself. Okay? And there are reasons for it. Some of them are religious reasons for it. But when you are capable of consciously evolving to the point where you can gain the answers and the truth for yourself, you'll come to the realization that a lot of those ideas and beliefs were never true. They were used to control and manipulate humanity. Okay? So, again, the purpose of these images and what I've just shown you here is that basically from the 1930s on through even now, okay, this is 2024, Neptune and Saturn have been in this dance where Neptune has been responsible for Saturn being confronted with issues beyond logic and reasoning, which creates anxiety and fear, okay, because people by and large are not in touch with that Neptune energy, which is the energy of intuition, telepathy, and higher consciousness. Okay? So this is what we're looking at. And for those of you, again, I'll say this for the third time here, that are my age, a little younger, a little older, you've got Neptune opposing your natal Saturn, and very soon natal Saturn is going to oppose, or transiting Saturn is going to oppose your natal Saturn. This brings your whole life into focus. What's the purpose of your life? What's the meaning of your life? What have you been doing with your life? Very important, serious questions that for a lot of people are very hard to take. Okay? Because you, all of a sudden, you just feel stripped down of all your pride and all your greed and your ego, and you feel like almost you're nothing, or you've wasted your entire life. You haven't wasted your entire life. Nobody wastes their entire life. You're just on a different time frame for your own evolution and growth. Okay? Just like the old Bible saying, there's a time for every purpose under heaven. Okay? It's why astrology has such credibility. because when you do enough charts over a long period of time, you begin to see the theme that is going through one person's life, and you can see it going through another person's life, and they're not the same, but the goal is the same though. Evolution, encountering karma, encountering yourself. Okay, so hopefully, like I said, you'll find this video interesting. Maybe you'll want to share it to other people on the internet. I'm finally, like I said, finally getting my mojo back. The universe has said, oh, okay, we're going to let you out of the box. And I'm surprised it's a little bit earlier, but I have a very fascinating video that I'm going to be doing for you on the relationship between Donald Trump and also Elon Musk. I was working with some charts, and I did a combination between the two, and it really gave me a wow moment. Okay, talk about karma, fate, and destiny. Well, you're going to see that when I do this video and I put it out on the internet. And hopefully it'll give you a sense that nothing is by chance. Okay? Nothing in your life ever happened by chance. And when things did happen according to plan, you knew it. You felt it. Okay? And when you failed, you felt it. You may not have wanted to admit it, but you felt it. Okay? You felt a little less proudful, a little less in control. Okay? So, for those of you that are members and subscribers, thank you so much for your, contribution. Somebody gave a $20 donation watching one of the videos. These are appreciated very much. And a lot of other people have done that from time to time, as well as those that are watching the videos. It helps, to get the reward from that from people who watch the video ads in particular. So, again, that's appreciated. Those of you that have contributed over the years to the growth of the channel, your comments are extremely important. You may not think they are, but they are extremely important because I have a lot of insight, inspiration, and knowledge to share with you, but it's like I have to wait for you to ask. Okay? Because I don't want to, quote, beat you with it. I want you to say, okay, what about this? What about that? Or I'm going through this, or I'm going through that. Okay? I can offer you insight. I can't do it for you, but I can offer you insight because I've been there. And I'm still there, going through the same things you are. But my hope is that what we're doing, CJ and I, both in Substack and on here, is to give you a support so that you don't feel totally cut off and isolated from what's really happening. Because, as I mentioned many times before, if you religiously want to stick your nose into TV news, network news, and you're not careful, it's going to have an impact upon your mental and emotional health. And you don't want that. You don't want that kind of pain. Okay? Okay. Lastly, from the love of my life, CJ, my spiritual partner, my best friend, and from our little fur creature, Riri, who brings us tremendous joy, we thank you. And as I said earlier, it looks like my mojo is coming back in some form. Sometimes it goes down and then it goes back up. So I'll keep you informed. And I hope that, like I said, this particular video helps you to understand that what you're going through, what we have been going through in this century, is not something that is some odd quirk. All right? It is something that was destined to occur. Okay? Thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a great weekend.